Hello everyone, welcome to another video by Shot Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing another one of my Bioformer monkeys. Today we're going to be reviewing Kulta, or Skull Grinder as he's more commonly known. So here he is, and as you can see, transforms into this beast form, which you can say it's a dragon. I mean, it's kind of weird, and looking at it like this from the side view, yeah, you can see his neck's up here, and his tail connects all the way down here. But, yeah. So here he is, and he's pretty good. You know, I do pretty much like how he looks for the most part. The front of his front legs is a bit questionable and probably really eye-catching detail because they're completely bare, like all completely bare. Bone piece up here, so that would be bare, of course, but you know, I could have had this like this, except I have it the other way because like this, it can only bend this way and not this way, as you can see. So if I have it this way, then he has the forward bend like a dragon should have. At least I think a dragon should have, preferably. But yeah, these having these back here still looks pretty cool. You know, it has look like fur, or you know, just a bunch of spikes sticking out of his elbow. Anyway, yeah, he's a nice dragon. I like his wings; they look pretty cool, and they could do some pretty nice stuff. Like you could do this, and that's cool. So you could have him in like a diving pose. I'm not gonna do all of that here, but you could have him, like if he was diving, you could have his wings go like that and just tuck in like he's diving. So that's cool. His top is completely, well, I guess not all the way completely, but he's pretty bare on top. You have a exposed ball joint here, here, and on either side of these gray bone pieces, as well as in these bone pieces. If you don't mind it, and if you kind of keep in mind that this Kulta and like all the skull villains are supposed to be pretty skeletal, then I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, and probably couldn't put anything up here if I wanted to. But as long as you keep in mind that these skull villains and their mocks are going to be kind of skeletal, I guess some exposed ball joints here and there are not going to be too bothersome, because you know they're not like completely living. But yeah. You have his head here, the standard kaiju beast head, opens and closes, and it's in orange from the splitter beast. This is his neck piece, which I really like. It's the trans orange tiny bone piece, which is one of the biggest reasons I got the Ikimu vs. Skull Grinder set, because that I've never seen before, and that's just a cool piece. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything. Bone pieces down here, trans orange everywhere. Basically he's black, he's trans orange, and he's gunmetal gray and silver. So that's pretty nice. Back here is a pretty small tail, at least in terms of where it can move. I mean, you see it's pretty long with the sword on, but if you take that off, that's his entire tail. I did that so that in robot mode I wouldn't have this like giant thing to put somewhere. So this was better because I could just take off the sword and use it as a weapon. But it's pretty nice. You see you have these horns, and his face is back here. Because there's, I mean, the way I have it transformed, not really anywhere else for it to go. Spinning it around isn't much of an option. I do have to mention here that when you put this guy from robot mode into this form, then back here is going to be your most difficult part, because getting these 2 feet to come together, because they connect with an axle and a Vortica neck to hold on the tail. So putting this together is going to be kind of a pain. You're going to have to do a lot of fiddling, you know, horns get all tilted and messed up, and masks pop off a couple times. It's just really annoying. But it can be done, so yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff I have to say here. Does have the rib cage piece and trans orange down here, and the printed piece, but you'll see more of those in the robot mode. So, let's go over articulation, since he has some in this mode. So its front limbs can go forward, can't really go back farther than this because of this. They can go out, they can rotate since it is a ball joint, and they can bend about this much. Yeah, that's all they can bend. Then their foot has like everything it could need. So, not too limited, but you do have that limitation going backwards, so I guess in order to get them like doing this, then you have to pose one limb farther forward than the other. Anyway, let's go to his back limbs, moving this wing out the way. Back limbs can go forward and back pretty much unhindered and go out. This may cause just a little bit of limitation when you bring it up, so you can only go about that far. He has his knees, which can go, it can straighten, but it can't go back all that far. This can go back not too much forward in his like standard walking pose, I guess. It can go side to side though, and you have all your foot articulation. And there's a trans orange hand back here. It doesn't really take away anything, I guess. Doesn't move around a lot aside from going side to side, because I'll have it attached. So limbs are pretty good. Up at the head, you have your neck piece, which is pretty small right here. So it can go up, it can go down, it can have some side to side motion, it can rotate, and then you have pretty much all that up here. So with the neck and the head, you can get them looking pretty much anywhere you want them to. If you do it right, you could twist it around and get them kind of looking backwards. But yeah. So there's that. And for the wings, you can go up and down, which is what a wing should normally do. Rotate forward and back a little bit here. Have a kind of elbow right about here, so you can go forward, you can go back. I think forward would probably be the best, or you can't really go forward actually, because of this. It bumps in here, so you can't bend this forward, but you can bend it back. And then down here, you have this ball joint connected to the sword, and so you can do a couple things with that. And like I said, you could do this and have his wings tucked in. Anyway, but yeah, and as per usual, I guess, or anticipated, Tahu swords as wings. It's just so predictable. I also do have these new axe pieces for summer 2015 on the wings. But yeah, pretty nice beast mode. I do like it quite a bit. Oh, I forgot the tail. The tail can not go side to side, and go up. You have all your articulation here, so you can do all that, and that's about it. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for the beast mode. So let's go ahead and get into transformation. So first, what you want to do is, let's see how I can show this. You're going to take this and you're going to pull this thing this way. So you're going to pull this way, and then you're going to pull this out. So like that, and now just come out, and those are his weapons. So just put those off to the side. So let's do that on the other side, and there we go. So next, what you want to do is let's start here. So you're going to take this tiny XD4 body, bend that upwards, and then kind of pull this down for later. I'm trying to do things the easiest, fastest way possible. So you're going to take this and you're going to split it, and like I said, it connects with the Hordika neck and an axle, and then you're going to take off this sword so that doesn't get in the way. So you can split that, and there you go. So then just pull the head down like that, and I think that's pretty much how it's going to be right now. But let's continue. So these are his normal limbs in robot mode. So, and up a little bit, what you can do is you can pretty much just straighten them out and spin the feet, not the whole leg. Yeah, so just spin that around and you have his legs. There we go. And there's this. So as you can see, is how it is. So there he is. So now you can pull these down, and then let's take care of the back. So let's pull this back, kind of move these out of the way and down, pull this all the way up, kind of angle these wing attachments back, and then just rest this on his back. Next, what you want to do is take this and fold it at the first elbow. Then you can kind of leave this as is and fold the feet up as much as you can, and then just rest that next to the beast head. So let's do the same thing over here. Let's see. One looks a lot tighter than the other in form. Let's see. Yeah, like that. Then this, for some reason, usually this is on this side, so I guess what you kind of do with this is just kind of do that. You know, have it on there where it won't get in the way of things. But there you have it. There's his back. So now let's get back to his front. So basically you're done here. So just tighten up the form on this. Kind of get things like that. Pull the foot back and then it'll go like that. So it's kind of like a bone, I guess. Double bone. Anyway, so what you're going to do, this is slid in. You can see a little bit of an axle poking through here. So you're going to slide this forward, pull the hand out, and then slide it all the way back. And then you'll still get all the articulation. But, well, I guess that's about all that you get, all the articulation. Anyway, do the same over here. So let's fold this all up. Pull this out. And then there you go. Here is a Kulta in his robot mode, as you can see, and he is still a pretty tall dude. I think I stood next to Tahu or someone earlier, and he was pretty tall. I think he's about as tall as he should be in his original official build. Because I mean the legs are the exact same build as he had in his official build. The body, I mean it's built on the same silver body he comes with, but I've raised up everything else like the head and the shoulders like they originally did. Looking at it now, it looks pretty much as tall as the original, so that's the thing. His arms are like super long though. I mean it's crazy. Arms go from shoulders to the tip of the hands is just past the knee, so that's pretty long. You do get a pretty good amount of articulation from them though. But let's do some comparisons. So let's put Skull Grinder right here, and I'll get someone to compare it with. So for our first comparison, let's use Tahu here, and let's pull him in. And you can see both standing straight up. Let's get them as close as possible. Trying to keep things straight. So standing tall at the top of the head, he's not a full head taller, he's just slightly taller than Tahu, not by much. So I guess he's not as big of an enemy or like the biggest baddie of the Toa, but he is still pretty cool looking, and this looks really nice together, you know, having Tahu and Skull Grinder. Yeah, I like that. But pulling him out, let's put in Ikimu, and as you can see, he's still the little hero facing off against the big baddie. I mean, let's see, I'm trying to get it from his foot to his head, and then stack it on. Yeah, so Kulta's nearly twice as tall as Ikimu. I heard that Ikimu, or at least Kulta, his official build was as tall as Tahu. Here he's a little bit taller, so I don't know where I was going with that, but he's tall, he's really big, he's kind of the big baddie. So in this robot mode, he looks pretty cool. Like I said, show off the chest piece more so you can see it. You have the rib cage here, and then the rib cage piece down here. Exposed ball joints here, 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 and here if you don't like that. But other than that, it's a pretty nice figure. I do enjoy the way he looks. I'm not a big fan of these here. I had to for this build, usually I don't use like a whole lot of Hero Factory torsos stacked on top of one another. But for this build, I had 3 torsos stacked on top of each other, which is the most I've ever done, just to get you know, the shoulders up at the right place in comparison to the head. But yeah, so here he is. I do think he's nice. Legs are, like I said, the same as the official build, so that's that. Arms are pretty much the same. I mean, they use most of the same parts, or maybe 2 of the same parts. Anyway, like I said, it's kind of a double bone or joint, I guess. Not really much of a double joint though. But yeah, I do enjoy the way he looks. Let's get a 360. So you can see there's the new armor part in his knees and his upper arms. Have all this back here. I don't think it's the worst backpack, but there's not really much you could do about it. I mean, it's mostly the beast head causing most of it. So I guess that's that. They have these sticking out to the side, but you can, you know, fold those down onto the head as well, or just flare them out. You can put the wings back on here too if you really wanted to, but I don't really, I mean, I guess I kind of see it, but I'm not sure Kulta is the type of guy who just have wings on his, like, humanoid form just flying around. He probably would do that if you gave him an advantage in a fight, though. But, yeah, so there's Kulta. So let's get to his articulation. The head, ball joint, like everything's on the ball joint. So he can go down, go side to side. He has his tilt, and he can go up pretty much unhindered. And he does still have the red eye stalk. I don't know why I've just started including eye stalks with my figures. Anyway, going to his arms, they can go up, they can go forward, they can go back. They can bend here, and do keep in mind that the elbow joint is this joint up front, so it bends here. Then you can also rotate. You can move the foot around if you want. I try not to have it moving around, but you can. So since how all this comes together with the little extension here, he can bend this far, which is like really insane. Not even the standard bone builds can do that. His hand is pretty much everything, not limited in like any way. So yeah, the build does make his arms really long, but I think it's worth it because you do get a good amount of articulation. And now for his legs, they can go forward about this far, they can go back, they can go out, they can go in a little bit, have your knee joint, which is about 9 degrees, and then you have some rotation down there, and then you have all your foot articulation. So, not too limited, pretty much no limitation at all, which is good. And this guy is just like, I had a thought earlier that this guy is just kind of like the Predaking of all the Skull villains. If you're not familiar with them, at least in his most recent form from Transformers Prime, he's like this super powerful Transformer, turns into a dragon, and he's like super, like, this dude is hard for even Optimus Prime to beat. Megatron himself kind of feared him. I mean, yeah, that's just kind of how Kulta is. I'm not sure exactly how powerful he's supposed to be, but, you know, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be at least a match for all 6. At least if their masks aren't all on. But yeah, so for the backstory, it's pretty much the same as all the others. Got hit by Energon, and now he can transform. And I thought that a beast would be fitting for this guy, and at some point all the Skull villains. But yeah, so for his weapons, he has most simply the sword, which you can give to him. And there's that, which is, you know, kind of underwhelming for him. It's more like a super large dagger for him. But let's take this off and give him his real weapons. These swords, which were his wings in his beast mode. So this one, I think, goes over here. So you want the axe blade to be on the outside and facing backwards. So, like so. And he doesn't have any trouble holding them up either, so that's good. So here he is. There's Kulta with his weapons, and they're pretty big, made out of Tahu swords and the new axe pieces. I did put on the Borak eyes on those axe pieces so that you wouldn't have that exposed axle, and plus it looks cool. But yeah, let's get them in like a pose here, just as we're going into the closing. And yeah, you know, that looks cool. That looks really cool. I do like these weapons, and one thing I do like to do is I like to take this, I just like to stick it on the bottom of his left hand to form like that. Which if you like that, that's cool. I do like that. So let's pose him further as we wrap things up. So yeah, that's cool. I do like these weapons. They have the kind of flame effects, which I left in there because they're red, and you know, the rest of them is trans red. But yeah, really nice. I do like this guy. I really like how he looks. You know, he just radiates like cool. I mean, he's like an undead foe, but he's like a cool undead foe. So just because we can, let's get little Kimu here, down here. Yeah, I mean, with that big of a sword, this shield is just kind of petty. But yeah, let's get Tahu in here, and then let's end this. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe for more mock content. And I will see you guys later.